Hello, hello, and what is up, everybody? We are in a completely different world, indeed, and I gotta do something right sweet because it is getting late. Nothing like doing things last minute. Am I right or am I right? Supply camp, Acacia Supply Camp. Yeah. Why can't I preview it? Well, oh god, why? Why is it doing that? Oh no, we might die. We might die. Um, There we go. There we go. Okay, okay, okay. Where are we at here? We need flat land. We're flat. We're flat. We're flat. We're good. It's right here, isn't it? No, no, no. We're good, right? Yeah, yeah. Okay. Whew. It must have just glitched a little bit. No big deal. Let's sleep. Oh, a little nerve wracking to start things off here today. But we have started. This is Enigmatica 5. Alright, couple quick notes about Enigmatica 5. It's on Minecraft version 1.15-2, so that's good, first of all. Second of all, I have basically wandered the world a little bit. I've done some, some minor things. Nothing too crazy, like I haven't been to that village yet and whatnot, but I've come up with what I believe is a pretty cool idea, at least in my mind, and hopefully in your guys' eyes or minds as well. Now, first things first, Enigmatica 3, 5, we're on 5, that's the one. Enigmatica 5 is just a standard pack at this point in time, right? It's not an expert level. Some things have changed, some things have stayed the same, so, all of that is a thing, okay? But it's pretty unique, and it's a lot different than the other Enigmatica packs that have existed prior to. So we're off to a pretty good start, and a start that I would recommend for almost anybody. When you join into Enigmatica 4 or Enigmatica 5, like we're in here, one of the best things you can do actually is to straight up get yourself a supply camp or a supply ship. I typically like the supply camp a little bit better than the ship. The ship seems to be a little bit of a pain to place at times, so just keep that in mind as well. But I definitely recommend getting yourself a camp here right away because there's some good resources that come with it, right? And it's pretty cheap, all things considered. So, more or less, it's pretty good. It's pretty darn good. I'm going to store away some goodies here, and we're just kind of dumping things at this point in time. Nothing too crazy. I'm just quick sorting. Quick sort, no big deal. Alright? I'm making myself some food, which is good, because if you eat food, you get hearts. And it's got to be different food, which is really cool. I like that as well. So, anyways, we're going to switch over to mutton, just because I have some. And let's talk about what we're going to do here. I think there's lava right there. Indeed, there is. So, on the map here, as you can see, I've explored, and I didn't have to go very far, which is good. This village here, I definitely raided a little bit. I took some resources. You saw those emeralds and stuff like that. But then I quickly came across this mesa, or Badlands, I should say. And I kind of got thinking, I'm like, man, I have not done anything in the Badlands in a very long time, and or the Mesa. So I'm kind of thinking, let's do something in this region. Now, the problem with Mesa, typically in the past, is most people are like, Mesa, okay, Highway 66 American Western. That's immediately where their brains go when it comes to a mesa. Now, there's a lot of other things that you can do with a mesa. Absolutely tons of things. Mesa works really well with modern builds, really well with a couple of different things. Now, I'm not the best modern builder by all intents and purposes, right? But I kind of like this little plot of land that we have right in here. It's a little bit flat. It's a little bit open. It's surrounded by different things. We have these cool spikes in the background. which is awesome. So I kind of think that right in this general area, right here, is a good spot for what I'm going to call our main base. Okay? Now, there's two factors to this whole, setup that I'm going with here. Okay? There's the main base, and then there's the up on top of the mountain base. Okay? So up on top of the mountain base, which is the one that I started with the supply camp there, is pretty straightforward. It's more or less a center at this point in time for us to store and harvest resources. Eventually, I would like up here to kind of sort of maybe be like a Western theme. Kind of go into that Western-y thought process. And that's going to be overlooking that valley that I showed you before. Okay? So, for us, we're going to dabble in quite a few different mods here. And one of those mods is definitely Minecolonies. I've never really done Minecolonies on my channel, so I'm looking forward at doing Minecolonies, but equally there's a lot of cool things that you can do with it. So let's just take a look at Minecolonies in general, okay? There is a scanning scepter. Why am I not seeing it? Scan? There it is right there. The scan tool, I should say, from Structurize, okay? Now, the cool thing about this scan tool is you can basically scan any product, any build that you build, you can scan and load into your Minecolonies situation and template. So the cool thing is I can build some Western buildings, maybe in creative mode or something like that. Maybe I can even record them. Let me know what you guys thought on that. I'm thinking we record it and then we input it into the world as part of our base. I think that's a pretty darn cool idea. So I'm going to do a little bit of that, and obviously we're going to have just a general playthrough as well. So both of those things will be going at the same time in conjunction. Okay? So yeah. Little tiny details, nothing too crazy. Alright? Now, the first block that we have to place in Minecolonies is the town hall. And for us to do this, we got to go all the way over yonder. Okay? Now, I really need another bed. Or like a sleeping mat? What does that guy cost? More wool. Red wool and leather. Hey. I don't have any of those, so yeah, we'll just leave that for now. We'll take a few resources and stuff like that, and I guess I could take the base from here. The bed, not the base. Yeah, I think so. We can do this. So yeah, some of this playthrough will be default Minecolonies, as you guys get, and that's going to be the valley. The valley we're going to be doing more or less default Minecolonies, along with just some general, actual survival building and all of that kind of stuff. So there's going to be that, and then there's also going to be some customized Minecolonies, and I hope to be able to make you guys like templates that you could maybe put into your world as well, which I think would be pretty darn cool. But let me know if you guys aren't interested in that. So just one of those things. So I'm going to bounce down here nice and carefully. This might be a little bit of a pain to traverse for the most part. Oh, oh, yeah, no, that's got to be a hard mode. Absolutely. I've basically been sleeping, so it's not really a big deal, but yeah, we need hard mode. We have a trader. Hello. Hello, bucket of tropical fish. I don't need any of this stuff, good sir. No, thank you. So right down here in this valley, this is the one that we were talking about. We need to set up our first structure. And more or less in the middle here, I want to set up the town hall. Okay? So in here, you basically find... Nope, not that. Town hall. Acacia. Okay? I am going to stick with the Acacia build here. I've kind of went through a whole, whole tester world and just kind of, is this what we want? Is that what we want? How do we want this? And I've kind of come to the conclusion that I don't mind the Acacia stuff, especially as it levels up. Some of the basic ones are pretty good, but yeah, I really don't like the Mesa. I can show you that one quickly as well. This one here. It feels very basic to me, and even the level 5 version is pretty mediocre for the most part. So not a huge fan of that one. So I'm definitely going to be sticking with Acacia. Okay, so we'll go with Acacia down here. I think it fits the theme pretty good. And we're gonna have probably a whole bunch of acacia trees and make it a little bit more natural in this valley. Okay, so basically we're gonna do that and we're gonna place it. Excellent. Okay, so now we've basically started our colony. Pretty straightforward, nothing too crazy there. If you go into here, there's a lot of different options that you can do, but if I say that I want to build this building, well, you get blocked. You require a builder's hut of level 1 in order to progress. Okay, now I knew that that was coming because I've done a little bit of playtesting with the whole Minecolonies stuff with my kids. We have a little daddy-daughter world, which is a lot of fun, but it also allowed me to kind of play around with the mod a little bit and get more used to it. So what we need to do is we need to get ourselves a builder's hut. Simple as that. And that's pretty straightforward. So I'll meet you guys back at the supply camp there, and we'll make ourselves a builder's hut block. As you can see, it's a pretty easy recipe, just some oak planks, a door, and the building tool there. That'll give us the builder's hut. Thankfully enough, it does not get rid of the building tool, but if you for some reason lose this, it's very easy to replace. So have no fear if that is what happens to you, okay? Now, basically with this guy, we can now proceed back over to our other area and place down our builder's hut. And then from there, things really start to ramp up a little bit more. And some of it's for the good, some of it's for the bad. And I'll show you why soon enough. These Minecolonies buildings, you know, they require still you, oh God, really? Really, mates? Why are you up here? Why are you here? Just leave me alone. Just leave me alone. But anyways, as you can see, there's some name tags down here, which is great. That means that people have moved into our colony. These are people that we can put to work. These are our villagers. These are awesome, awesome people. Okay? But at the same time, you have to feed them. You have to make sure that they're healthy, all that kind of stuff. So we got to keep all of that in mind. But as you can see, we have lots of them. We have 3 already. Now, just by placing your town hall block like we did, you can get up to 4 potential villagers, okay? And each of these villagers then need a profession, they need a house, they need all of this stuff. So, let's start. As you can see, now that I've hovered over the building tool, this is the range that our town hall gives us in terms of our village. So that's pretty darn cool, if you ask me. But let's just do our builder, okay? This is the block that we need. This is the item we need to proceed forward. As you can see, it's pretty darn big. It takes up a lot of real estate. And yeah, all of a sudden that space doesn't seem nearly as big as it once did. Now does it? So I want to kind of think logically here. If we keep a 3 wide gap between buildings, right? And we have then, this would be more or less your way into it. I think that's okay. I wonder if we shouldn't rotate this 90 degrees though. I'm kind of thinking let's give that a try. The problem with rotating is it always does something pretty darn crazy. Okay, so if we go here, what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Alright, so we can move it to this way twice. Those are obviously under the sand, so we might have to remove that.
I'll take
but
care of it.
I think this works pretty good. I kind of like that. That's a pretty good setup, I think. Now the waypoint enters over here. Is this the entryway? This one's tough because it's open, right? Like, it's pretty open. All of these placeholder blocks, that just means that any block can be underneath it. So, yeah. I think that that's okay. Let's build it there. Let's call it a day. We can always relocate or do something like that down the road if we want to make an adjustment. Alright? Now, one of the cool things is we can literally walk over here and we can go in and we can say, okay, build options. Build this building. Makes pretty good sense, right? And in this block, it'll tell you once the builder gets here. Where's my builder? Hello? Levi K. Brown. Levi, where you at, bro? There you are. There you are. You're coming. You're coming. Alright, we're going to give a little bit of food to our villagers so that they're happy. Happy villagers. I want to run a fine-tuned facility here. Nothing too crazy. Okay. There we go. Builder. Nice. Excellent. So, basically what he's saying is, I need resources. So you have to supply this builder with all these resources to start things out, to get things started and built. Alright? I think that that makes pretty good sense for the most part. So we need acacia planks, we need acacia slabs, we need stairs, we need cobblestone, dirt, gravel, torch, and white wool. Well, that's a lot of different things now, isn't it? That is a lot of different things. Let's get ourselves some planks. Let's get some of this stuff done. We need slabs. We need stairs. Well, you know what we need? We need a little bit of a base of operations over here, don't we? Because going back and forth to that supply camp, it's a long ways away. So we need to definitely set up accordingly. Alright? Let's get ourselves the stairs. Let's get ourselves a few slabs. And hopefully it's at least enough to kind of get started here. Maybe not. It might not be. Now, one of the problems that I just thought of is cobblestone. It's going to be a pain to get. Isn't it? I think so. Even with this osmium pick, which is amazing, by the way. Highly recommend getting an osmium pick if you can. Yeah, it's going to be a bit of a hassle. But I think we can do pretty well. I think we can get this going. Boom, boom. We'll just throw down some chests. And we'll throw in some loot here as well. Just so that we're somewhat positioned. Okay? From here, I gotta go mine some more acacia, get some more wool and all that kind of stuff. So I'm gonna do all of that. We have some dirt back at the supply camp. And we'll get started on farming some trees and, you know, doing all that kind of stuff. I have all those resources already. Alright, so we've supplied most of the stuff here. I think he's pretty much good. And just working to complete the building, Mr. Levi there is doing some good work. It's always nice to see. So, anyways, basically he's going to build this builder's hut. Boom. All in due time. Okay? As you can see, they kind of go intrinsically. It's automatically done. And the hut is being built. I think that's pretty darn awesome. If you ask me, that's pretty sweet. They place the blocks, you name it. I don't even have to worry about it. Feels good. Feels real good. Obviously, you still, you know, it was a bit of a pain supplying everything. Actually, gravel was quite the hassle to find. So we'll have to come up with some solutions to certain things. But yeah, as we can see, the builder is getting built. And the next step, once this is completed, which should be pretty quickly here, kind of placing the last few stairs and stuff like that, we will be moving on to the town hall. Okay. Now the town hall is a much bigger build, so it's going to require quite a few resources as far as I'm aware. So we'll have to see, you know, we'll have to see how much of that we have currently, right? So if you look at this, right, you need acacia doors, acacia logs, 151 of them, right? I think I have like maybe 100 and some. Overall, though, it's not too bad. A little bit of cobblestone and mostly acacia. So the resources are going to be a little tree heavy, but yeah, overall not too shabby. So I got to farm a lot of acacia and things like that to get that town hall up and running. I went by and I raided. Man, we are surrounded by villages. I want to just show you this. I'm pretty sure there's a desert village down here, or it's over here. I can't remember which one, but there's a village there, right? I ran up here, another village, right? We got a village over here, We're literally surrounded. I'm pretty sure there was one right here. So many villages. It's great. That's going to be so useful for us. Oh, jeez. Louise. Oh, that sent the heart. I would suggest you get a lumberjack or miner. Alright? So, one of the interesting things is we actually don't have to build the town hall yet. And I'm kind of thinking we don't. You know? What if we were to get a lumberjack instead? Lumber mill. Boom. Well, that's really cheap, right? Stone axe, a little bit of planks. I kind of like this idea. Maybe we can get them to farm our acacia for us. I think that's a swell idea. So let's go ahead and let's get ourselves a wooden axe, not a pickaxe, an axe, right? Boom. And we'll get this guy right here. Boom. Like so. Let's get this, and let's get that builder tool. At least I don't think we need anything else. Let's find out. Let's find out together. We'll do it live. So one of the fun little details is kind of building and planning out these things. Like, I don't know how big this is. Oh, that's pretty big. That's pretty big. Right? Like, to fit it next to this builder would be pretty tough. We might have to do, like, a lot of work in this valley. Don't get me wrong. So, yeah. One of the nice things I will say is typically they don't change in size as you level up your buildings, right? So you do have the option to level up your buildings and do all that kind of stuff. So that is a thing that you can do in this beautiful thing. But it doesn't really, impact too much. Okay, let's see. How are we doing? Is that about right? Let's bring it forward one. I think that lines up nicely with the builder's hut. And then we can bring it over a couple. Kind of line up the lines properly here. Try to fit it in this space. What's down there? Does this go up? Oh boy, this goes up. This goes up, up. Okay. Is that going to be okay? Yeah, I think that's going to be okay like that, isn't it? Oh, I fell in the water. One of the things about these specter blocks are like these spectator ones. It's a little interesting. Let's you know what? I might want to bring it closer and have a little bit of room out the back, right? Kind of like what we did here. We need to line it up to the 3, right? 3 wide walkway. We got the town hall there. This will give us a little bit of room in the back. Maybe we can do a little tree setup back here for them to actually cut. Yeah, I like this. Okay, let's place it. Boom. There we go. Okay, lumberjack. What do we need? Lumber mill. Whatever it is. Build option. Build it. Build request created. Beautiful. So the cool things here is you can definitely, configure things for it to work or not work, right? So for the most part here, we only want it to deal with, for example, acacia, right? So we can go in, we can turn off everything except for acacia, for example, okay? And this way, it is more or less working the way that we need it to. Now, obviously, there's a lot of different trees that we can use in this thing, but yeah, there we go. Replant on, restriction on. I think that's right, if I remember correctly. Okay. Anyways, we can go over to the builder, though, and we can see what they need for this, right? So, obviously, there's torches. There's a lot of the same materials to get this lumberjack up and running. I don't want to bore you guys too much with the getting of supplies and things like that, because there's going to be a lot of it, for sure. But it is important to note that, these things, you need a pickaxe. Okay. Needs a pickaxe. Great. It's really important to at least recognize the fact that these are things that we need to kind of sort of do, right? So, yeah, just one of those things. The other thing is, every once in a while, they do request items And basically, so I'll work on it. You can give that, and you can fulfill it, right? You can fill that request, and now he's got the pickaxe so that he can mine out, you know, this terracotta here is basically what he needs the pickaxe for. So these are the little things that kind of make a bit of a difference as we go here. So it does take a lot of management. It takes a lot of time, but I'm going to do my best to have a nice little village. So I think that's... Is that about it? I think that's it for the first episode. I think we're going to leave it there. I got to sleep. I got to mine a whole bunch of resources, especially wood, to get this lumberjack up and running. And then we'll probably look at doing the town hall. And then once those ones are done, probably a citizen hut would be important. And then we can kind of sort of go from there. Pretty straightforward. Nothing too crazy. One cool thing is you can recall all of your citizens. So they typically like to wander a little bit. So you can always recall them and make sure that they don't go too far. Okay? So, and, you know, because the builder has a job, he'll just come right back to it. Okay? He needs a shovel now. So, yeah, I got to get him resources. I got to get him stuff. And we'll be back next time. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you give me a little bit of support here and there. I really do appreciate it. It goes a very long way. So, just one of those things. So, hit me up. We'll go from there. Thanks, everyone, and have a good one.